Hey guys, Bri here with Adam Levine, and we are with Sky Insurance Brokers. And today we wanted to talk a little bit about what is going on with the California Fairplan. If you are a real estate agent or a loan officer and you do business up in those high fire areas and it has been given to the California Fairplan or brokered through the California Fairplan, then you definitely need to listen about some of the changes that we are experiencing. This is not just a Sky Insurance thing, this is all across the board. All insurance companies who write through the Fairplan have to abide by these new rules. So I wanted to bring Adam on here to tell us a little bit about those new rules and what it's going to look like for you if you are a loan officer, a real estate agent, or even a consumer in those areas.
Thanks. Effective Monday, just recently, on the 10th of May, the Fair Plan gave us a pretty significant change in the rules with very, very little warning. The way it's worked in this agency, if a lender, a consumer, or a realtor partner sends us a quote request, they know, you all know our process. We're going to run it through our machine of about 30 to 33 carriers, see if any of them will take them. If not, then we usually have no choice but to go to the California Fair Plan. Now, unlike some of our competitors, we don't just phone it in and give you a one-page calculator quote unless it's a rush. We'll actually submit a full application of the Fair Plan and give you a bindable quote. The changes effective 4 days ago now require us to submit with the application a photo taken within the last 7 days. Now, the California Fair Plan has decided to alleviate the automated quoting system, so now they're going to be hand quoting it individually with people, which means they're going to be looking at those photographs that we upload with the application and the timestamp on it. And if it's not taken within 7 days, they'll decline the application. We have to start all over. This is good and bad in that I can't just pull a photo off an online listing and upload it with it. It's got to be something more recent. And this is going to result in, instead of a day turnaround for a Fair Plan quote, we now have to wait for 3 to 5 days for a person to physically go in and quote it and rate it and then release the quote to us. This is a little bit more work on the front end of the quoting process when it's concerning the Fair Plan. A lot more hoops for me to jump through as the representative for the client and with our partners such as you. But it's a pretty significant change. It's going to cause some delays. So we wanted to basically proceed with the knowledge that we've conveyed to you, that whatever time frame you had in your file or in your mind for when to send out the quote request, when to actually ask for a binder, etc., you need to give us a little bit more time in case it goes to the Fair Plan, because it's got to get past hand underwriting now instead of the automated system.
And like I mentioned, this isn't just a Sky
No.
Insurance. This is all across the board. Any broker, any company you work with that's going to be representing California Fair Plan, that's how it's
Correct.
going to be.
And
So
it's because, frankly, I found out it was because they felt that the automated underwriting system wasn't being very good at controlling and making sure that every property was quote unquote insurable. Because it was a computer just giving you a quote, there wasn't a human set of eyes looking at the property to determine if there was going to be issues or not. So they wanted to be a little bit more thorough.
So I know one thing we talked about, and what's really important for you guys out there, is how are you going to get those pictures? What is the expectations for how those pictures are going to get delivered to you?
And therein lies some of the rub. That's going to be part and parcel of part of the delay, not just with waiting for the underwriters at the Fair Plan to turn that quote around, but I've got to somehow get a photo. With some of these properties, you have a seller that does not want to be disturbed, is maybe not as cooperative with the buyer's representative about allowing the buyers to come on the property until escrow is closed and it's theirs. So it's going to take a little bit of finesse. So either my obvious hope is that we get a cooperative buyer's representative or a buyer and seller's representative, that somebody would be willing to drive by the house tomorrow, for instance, and get me the photos. The requirement by the Fairplan is they want to see a photo of the front, the entire front of the house, and if we're lucky and the numbers of the address are on the house, great. If not, let's say the numbers are on a mailbox at the beginning of the driveway, whoever takes the photo is going to have to maybe stand in the road and get the photograph with the address in the foreground and the home in the background. This is twofold, so they can determine insurability, but also so when they bind a policy and order the inspection, they can send that photograph to the inspection company so there's no doubt and no mistake as to which house they're supposed to be inspecting post-binding. So I'm hoping, and we'll see how it works, it's going to be a lot of trial and error at first. I'm hoping that the seller's agents would be willing to get the buyer's agent a current copy of a photograph. You know, go out there tomorrow and get it to the buyer's agent who can forward it to me. Or maybe there's a good relationship between the buyer and seller, and the buyer can go and check out the house whenever he wants, and if so, the buyer can get me a photograph. But it boils down to the sometimes impersonal quoting processes, getting a quote request from a lender or a realtor on behalf of their client. Now I might need to be more proactive and interactive with the client themselves in order to obtain that photograph. But what we're going to do is I'm going to do it when it comes down to Fairplan quotes similarly to when we're doing a rush quote. I'm going to go ahead and provide a Fairplan calculated quote if we find no other choice but the Fairplan, so that the client, the lenders, the realtors have an indication of what the insurance is going to be. Then if the client wants to proceed and says, yeah, we can afford it, then the client and I, or the realtor and I, can talk a little bit more. We can fine-tune that quote. Maybe the client wants double the deductible to bring the price down. That's a good time for me to discuss with the client that I'm going to need a photo. At that point, that's when I'll submit the actual application and photo, and then we'll have to wait the 3 or 4 or 5 days, however long it takes to underwrite it.
Yeah, so our hope is that it doesn't slow you guys down as lenders and agents, because we know obviously time is of the essence with these processes. Yes. So we are trying to be on top of it, and we, you know, Adam knows a lot about the California Fairplan. He sits on the board, so he's very, very privy to all this. So rest assured that we will do our best to make sure it doesn't hold up anything, and we'll keep doing what we're doing. Yeah,
well, actually, I don't sit on the board. I'm just one of the people that sits on panels that helps train other agents.
That sounded better.
There is one thing I wanted to make sure that our partners were aware of. This is going to have no change whatsoever on the bind process itself. So it's not going to delay the way we've done business with you in the past when you send us a request to bind the policy effective such and such date. It's only going to affect and slow things down at the beginning. It's going to take a few days longer to get an actual bindable written quote from the Fairplan with this process. But once I have that quote, it can be bound as normal as we've done with our partners forever. You just send the bind request, and I'll take the down payment from the client, and we'll bind it effective whatever date you requested, and that's that. So really, it's just a delay, and it's some hoops to jump through at the beginning of the process, not at the end.
Yep. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or need anything at all, feel free to let us know. We will try to get some verbiage on this, some pamphlets, something to get out to the clients so that they are made aware of it. But yeah, if you need anything in the meantime, feel free to let us know, and we're always here to help.
And I'm always available to answer any questions when it comes to the Fairplan and their procedures. Have a great day.
Thank you.